Hello everyone. I'm Candy from Susan's family. Today, I'll show you how to make a little Prince cushion cover. This electronic tutorial can be found on the website en001.com. The pillow consists of main part and accessories. Start by making the main part. Then complete and attach the accessories. The main part includes the front piece, the back piece, and the piece edging. First, make the front and back pieces. After completing them, crochet the edging. Start by making the pieces. The crochet method for the front and back pieces is the same. The only difference is the color scheme. I will explain the crochet method for the pieces first. Then, I'll explain the various situations you might encounter during the process. You can watch my demonstration first. Then, refer to the charts for crocheting. I'll introduce the crochet method for the pieces, which use the diagonal crochet method. Work in rows back and forth. It is divided into the increasing and the decreasing sections. During the process, continuously join new yarn and change colors to crochet the corresponding pattern. The stitches used include chain, double crochet and slip stitch. Please watch my demonstration. For ease of viewing, I will use thick yarn for demonstration. The color is random. For specific yarn, color scheme, and hook size, refer to the detail page and the paper chart of our product. Start with a foundation chain of 3 stitches. Move on to row 1. Chain 3 as beginning chain. Start from the 4th chain from the hook. Pick up the back loop of the chains and work 3 double crochets in sequence. Here treat the 3 chains and the 3 double crochets as one group. Row 1 has only one group. Row 1 is completed. Work row 2 next. Begin with 3 chains. To crochet back and forth, you need to turn the piece over. Turn it counterclockwise. Then pick up these 3 chains. Work one group. First, chain 3 to begin. At this point, the back of the chain is facing you. Pick up the top loop of the chain. This is the strand above the raised horizontal line. Correspondingly, make 3 double crochets. If you can't find the correct position, you can also count from the front of the chain. One group is then completed. Insert into the starting point. of the first group below. The large hole next to it. Right here. Insert and work a slip stitch. Continue to work one group here. Chain 3. Pick up the same hole. Work 3 double crochets. This row has 2 groups. Row 2 is completed. Move on to row 3. Begin by chaining 3. Then turn. Pick up these 3 chains and work one group. Here the same, the back of the chain is facing you. Pick up the top loops and crochet. After that, pick up the hole between the beginning chain and the double crochet of the adjacent group. That is, the hole next to the beginning chain. Make a slip stitch. Then pick up the same hole. Work a group. After completing, continue picking up the whole of adjacent group. Make a slip stitch. Then work a group here. Row 3 is completed. This row has 3 groups. You can see that. The texture of this row matches that of row 1. This is the front side of the piece. The texture of the double crochets is neat. When distinguishing the front from the back later, you can refer to the texture. Meanwhile, the starting tail should be at the bottom right corner. Next, work row 4. The method is the same as before. Begin with the foundation chain. Then crochet a group. After that, slip stitch into the hole of the adjacent group. Continue to crochet the second group. For the subsequent groups, crochet groups correspondingly, with one slip stitch transition in between. Continue crocheting all the way down. Complete the last group. Row 4 is finished. This row has 4 groups. Follow the chart and continue crocheting the remaining increasing section. This completes the increasing section. Next, crochet the decreasing section. Here, you need to decrease groups at both diagonal ends. Start by making 3 beginning chains. Turn. Slip stitch in the group below. Then crochet a group. Continue to crochet groups correspondingly until you finish the last group's inner side. Now you've reached the indicated position. Do not continue crocheting after that. Join with a slip stitch. This means one group is missing at both the beginning and end. This completes this row. Move on to the next row. Use the same method. Start with 3 chains. Turn and slip stitch into the group below. Crochet 1 group. Then, crochet the corresponding groups. Finish the last group's inner side. This completes this row. For the following rows, use the same method as for the first 2 rows. Continue crocheting until you finish the last row. When completed, the last row will have only 1 group. Then, slip stitch into the adjacent group. Then crochet 3 chains. Turn. Slip stitch into the group below. After completing, you need to cut the yarn. First, chain 1 to secure. Leave a little tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Hide the tail on the back of the piece. You can hide a few more times. That concludes the decreasing section. Also, the crochet method for the pieces has been explained. Next, let me explain a few situations that you might encounter while crocheting. I will use a sample to explain and demonstrate. First, I'll explain how to join new yarn. There are 2 situations. Let me start with the first one. Joining new yarn at the beginning of a row. Please watch the demonstration. After completing the last stitch of the edge group from the previous row, enlarge the loop. We will pass the piece through the loop. Take the new yarn. Make a loose knot. Insert into the double crochet stitch on the edge. Draw the yarn through. Adjust the loop. Chain 3 with the new yarn. Then turn the piece. Start crocheting the group. That covers the color change at the edge. Next, let's talk about the second situation. Join new yarn within a row. Please watch my demonstration. We will place the yarn we are working with on the back of the piece. Take the new yarn. Make a knot. Insert into the hole. Draw the yarn through. Place the joining tail on the back. Then crochet one group. While crocheting, you can weave in the joining tail. That covers joining new yarn within a row. Next, let me demonstrate the situations where you need to leave a yarn. When changing colors for the adjacent group, there are two situations. Let's talk about the first one, adjacent to this color block. On the upper part or the left side. The same color yarn is needed. Please watch my demonstration. After completing this color block, do not cut the yarn. When crocheting the next row, use this yarn. Just pull it over and crochet the group directly. Place the yarn we're crocheting with on the back of the piece. Slightly tighten the previous yarn. Don't make the pulled yarn too tight. The pulled yarn can be woven in when you crochet the group. That concludes the first situation. Now, let's discuss the second one. Around this color block, you won't use its yarn, but at the bottom left with an interval of one group. Or at the top left, you will use the same color yarn. You can pull this yarn over directly and crochet. That concludes the second situation. This completes the method for leaving yarn when changing colors for adjacent group. Now, let's discuss changing colors for adjacent group without leaving yarn. Around this color block, you won't use its yarn, but in the bottom left two groups apart, or above, you will use it. You can leave a tail of 15 centimeters. Then cut it off. You can rejoin the yarn when crocheting the group. Now I will demonstrate how to hide the tail. After cutting the yarn. For the color change part, first, hook out the tail. From this top braid. Slightly tighten it. This is equivalent to making a knot. The remaining tail is then woven into the back of the piece. Make sure to weave in several stitches. If you want it more secure, you can divide the tail into 2 parts. And hook out one part from an adjacent position. Tie the 2 tails in a double knot. Then weave the remaining tails into the piece. Make sure to weave in several stitches. For the other tails, except for the starting one. Weave them into the piece as well. For the joining tail, continue to weave in several stitches within the piece. That covers color changing for adjacent group without leaving yarn. Next, let's talk about when the same color blocks are further apart, with at least 2 groups in between in a row. To make crocheting easier, you can rejoin the yarn in one of the parts. A skein has 2 tails. One on the surface and one in the center. When you encounter a color that only has one skein, use the other tail to join. For color with multiple skeins, you can rejoin using another skein. First, place the previous yarn on the back of the piece. Then take the corresponding yarn and join it. That covers how to handle the same color blocks that are further apart in a row. Now, let's move on to crocheting the edging. While crocheting, pay attention to leaving a position for the zipper. The new stitch used is the single crochet. Please watch my demonstration. First, place the front and back pieces with their backs facing each other, with the front piece on top of the back one. Overlap the 2 pieces. Place the green side of the front piece and the light yellow side of the back piece facing down. I will use this sample to demonstrate the method of edging. Let's find the 3 chains edge. of the group at the top right corner. Note that you need to go through both pieces simultaneously. Pick up the entire chain to join the yarn. Then work 3 chains and 2 double crochets into the same position. After completing this, pick up the next 3 chains. Work 3 double crochets. Continue by picking up the entire chain and working 3 double crochets. Keep going until you reach the next corner. In the corner stitch, work 1 DC 3-in-1. This means working 3 double crochets in the same stitch. After completion, continue picking up the edge chain. To work corresponding double crochets referring to the chart, keep going until you reach the next corner. Note: on the front piece is chain, while on the back piece is double crochet or remaining 2 strands of chains. When you encounter a chain and a double crochet, simply pick up the entire one and crochet. If on the front piece is a chain, and on the back piece is the remaining 2 strands of chains, pick up the remaining 2 strands of the middle chain and crochet. You can also crochet based on your preference. Once finished, work 1 DC 3-in-1 at the corner. Then start leaving a position for the zipper. Do not crochet the back piece, only pick up the front piece for double crochets. For the foundation chain, just pick up the remaining 2 strands of the middle chain and work double crochets. When you encounter a double crochet, pick up the entire one and work double crochets. Continue crocheting all the way to the next corner. Then from this corner, crochet together with the back piece again. This leaves the position for the zipper. Refer to the chart. Continue crocheting to complete this round. Once completed, pick up the 2 strands of the 3rd chain of the beginning chain. Join with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn and hide the tail. Round 1 is complete. Now, let's crochet round 2. Take the new yarn. Join the yarn to the 2nd double crochet next to the beginning chain. Chain 3. Then chain 3 as a transition. Work a double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then skip 3 stitches. Work a double crochet in the 4th stitch. Chain 3. Work a double crochet in the adjacent stitch. One group is complete. Then, like this, skip 3 stitches. Work a double crochet, 3 chains, and a double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Repeat the process. Pay attention. At the end, skip 2 stitches here. Then in the middle double crochet of the corner, work a double crochet, five chains, and another double crochet in the same position. Everyone follow the chart to complete this round. When done, pick up the 2 strands of the 3rd chain of the beginning chain, join with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn and hide the tail. Make sure to hide several times. Round 2 is complete. Now let's work on round 3. Take the corresponding yarn, combine the 2 strands into one for crocheting. I'll use a single cotton yarn for demonstration. Join the yarn between the beginning chain and the right side double crochet. Chain 1 to start. Work a single crochet first. Then pick up the entire chain and work 5 double crochets. Work 1 single crochet between the adjacent double crochets. Pick up the chain for double crochets. Follow the chart to crochet the entire round. Pay attention to the number of double crochets at the corners. Don't make a mistake. Join with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn and hide the tail. That completes the edging for the piece. Next, let's learn about the accessories, including crown, large and little stars, fox facial features, fox feet, little princess facial features, scarf and rose. After crocheting each one, sew them onto the corresponding positions. Finally, sew the zipper onto the opening. First, let's learn about the crown. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. Then crochet a round of edging. The new stitches used include treble crochet, half double crochet, and SC2-in-1. Please watch my demonstration. First, work a foundation chain. Refer to the chart for the number of stitches. Next, crochet row 1. Chain 1 as beginning chain. From the second stitch from your hook, pick up the back loops and crochet 1 single crochet in each. Row 1 is completed. Now, crochet row 2, chain 1 as beginning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Start with a SC2-in-1, that is, crochet 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Note that because you've turned the work, the stitch is at the top left position. SC2-in-1 completed. Continue crocheting according to the chart until the end of row 6. Note that after each row is completed, you need to turn the piece. After row 6 is completed, now crochet row 7. Start with 5 chains. From the second stitch from your hook, make in sequence 1 slip stitch. Do not pull tight. The oval solid dot symbol indicates not to tighten. I will not repeat it later. Then work 2 single crochets. Two half double crochets in the next stitch. One double crochet. After completing, skip 3 stitches below. From the 4th stitch, make 4 slip stitches in sequence. Once completed, crochet 9 chains. From the second stitch from your hook, make in sequence 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. 1 half double crochet. 2 double crochets. The next stitch is a treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert. Yarn over and pull through. There are 4 loops on your hook. Pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. The first treble crochet is complete. Crochet 2 more. Once completed, skip 5 stitches below. Make in sequence 4 slip stitches. Seven chains. From the second stitch from your hook, make 1 slip stitch. 2 single crochets. After that, the next stitch is a special decrease. Work 2 incomplete half double crochets first. Then 1 incomplete double crochet. Yarn over and pull through once. The special decrease is complete. Skip 2 stitches. Make 1 slip stitch in the last stitch. Row 7 is completed. Now let's work on round 8. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Next, work 1 single crochet in each of the row's edges, a total of 5 single crochets. Then in the remaining 2 strands of the chains, work 1 SC3-in-1. (11 single crochets). One SC3-in-1. Rotate the piece. Work 1 single crochet by picking up each row's edge. Then work 1 single crochet in each of the remaining 2 strands of the chains. When done, pick up the tip chain and work 1 slip stitch. If you can't tell exactly, just pick up an approximate position. Chain 1. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. Then refer to the chart and work 7 slip stitches. The next stitch is a SC2 tog. First insert into the left stitch. Draw the yarn through. Then insert into the adjacent stitch and draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through once. SC2 tog completed. Then refer to the chart. Work the corresponding stitches. After completion, join with a slip stitch. Round 8 is finished. Leave a 50 cm tail. Thread the needle. Sew it onto the corresponding position on the front piece. My position is random here. Just demonstrating the method. For a nice look, you can pick up a few strands on the surface of the front piece. And several strands on the back of the crown and sew them together. That completes the crown. Next, let's learn about the large and little stars. Both start with the magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. I'll demonstrate the crochet method for the small star first. Start with a magic ring. Chain 2 as the beginning chain. Then crochet 9 half double crochets into the ring. Once done, close the ring. Join with a slip stitch. Round 1 is complete. Now, crochet round 2. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work a slip stitch first. Then crochet 1 single crochet in the adjacent stitch. One chain. 1 double crochet. 1 chain. 1 single crochet. When done, everyone follow the chart to complete this round. Finish by joining with a slip stitch. Round 2 is complete. This little star is now crocheted. Everyone follow this method to complete the remaining little stars. The method for the large star is the same as the little one. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitches. When done, sew them onto the corresponding positions. Note that the front should be facing up. That completes the large and little stars. Next, let's learn about the fox facial features, including eyes, blushes, nose and nose tip. When done, crochet the fox feet. I'll demonstrate the crochet method for the eyes. We will start with the foundation chain, then crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch my demonstration. First, chain 3. Then, chain 1 to begin. Start from the second stitch from your hook. Work 2 single crochets in sequence. Then, work 3 single crochets in the last chain. When done, rotate the piece. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chains and make 2 single crochets. Make sure not to insert into the same position of these 3 single crochets. Join with a slip stitch. Round 1 is complete. That completes one eye. When done, everyone refer to the chart to complete the rest of the fox facial features. Also, crochet the feet. Then sew them in the positions indicated on the chart. Place the pointed side downward. Now let's learn about the scarf. It includes scarf 1 and scarf 2. When done, crochet the little prince's facial features. I'll demonstrate the crochet method for scarf 1 first. We will start with the foundation chain. Work in rows back and forth. The new stitches include HDC 2-in-1, HDC 2 tog, and HDC 3-in-1. Please watch my demonstration. Start with the foundation chain. Refer to the chart for the specific number of stitches. Then, chain 2 to begin. Start from the third stitch from the hook. Crochet the corresponding number of half double crochets. In the last stitch, crochet 1 HDC 3-in-1, that is, crochet 3 half double crochets in the same stitch. Row 1 is completed. Now let's crochet row 2, chain 2 to begin. Turn the work. Crochet a HDC 2 tog. Work 2 incomplete half double crochets first. Then yarn over and pull through. The HDC 2 tog is completed. Then, follow the chart to complete this row. In the last stitch, crochet a HDC 2-in-1. That is, crochet 2 half double crochets in the same position. Row 2 is done. Now let's crochet row 3. First, follow the chart until you reach the second SC 2-in-1. After completing the SC 2-in-1, rotate the piece. Pick up the chain and work 1 single crochet. Chain 1. Insert into row 1's edge stitch, and work 1 single crochet. Chain 1. Then, crochet 1 single crochet by picking up the strands of the half double crochet. After completing that, pick up the remaining 2 strands of foundation chain, and crochet respective stitches. Leave a tail for sewing when finished. That completes scarf 1. Everyone refer to the chart and crochet scarf 2 as well. After completing that, refer to the chart and complete the little princess facial features. Then sew them onto the corresponding positions. For the nose and the mouth, just embroider 1 line respectively. Then use glue to create the curve. Next, let's learn about the rows. This includes the flower, stem and leaves. I'll demonstrate the crochet method for the leaves first. Using the foundation chain to start, crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch my demonstration. First, chain 7. Then, chain 1 to begin. Work correspondingly 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 1 chain. Then pick up the front loop and the left strand. Make a slip stitch. Then continue with 1 double crochet, 1 chain. Then pick up the front loop and the left strand. Make a slip stitch. Then refer to the chart, and follow this demonstration to complete the round. Finish with a slip stitch. That completes the leaf. Now crochet another one, and then follow the chart to crochet the stem as well. Next, I'll demonstrate the crochet method for the flower. Use a foundation chain to start and work in rows back and forth. The new stitch used is the DC 2-in-1. First, chain 11. After that, work row 1. Make 3 chains to start, which count as a double crochet. They correspond to the last chain of the foundation chain. Chain 3 for transition. Then, in the second to last chain of the foundation chain, pick up the back loop and work 1 double crochet. This is the 8th chain from the hook. Continue with 3 chains for transition. Then, pick up the left chain, and work 1 double crochet. Continue working alternately 1 double crochet, and 3 chains all the way, until you have 3 chains left. When you reach that point, work 1 double crochet first. Then chain 1 for transition. Finish the remaining 2 double crochets. Also chain 1 for transition between them. This way, row 1 is completed. Move on to the first small petal. Chain 3 first. Then turn the piece counterclockwise. Pick up the second to last stitch of row 1, and work 1 slip stitch. Since you are crocheting on the back, the stitch corresponds to the braid at the top left of the double crochet. These 2 strands. Make 1 chain. Then turn the piece counterclockwise. Then, in the left chain space, work 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, and 1 half double crochet, then chain 1 to start. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Pick up the half double crochet stitch below and work 1 half double crochet. Note that it's the braid at the top left. The next stitch is a DC 2-in-1, which means working 2 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2. Complete the DC 2-in-1. Then, work 1 double crochet in the left stitch, and 1 DC 2-in-1 next. After that, work 1 half double crochet in the left stitch. Then, in the same stitch, work 1 slip stitch. And then, in the same entry position of this slip stitch below. Which is this double crochet stitch? Work 1 slip stitch. Then, enlarge the loop on the hook. Pass the piece through the loop. Then, tighten the yarn. As you can see, this is what the first small petal looks like after completion. Move on to the second small petal. Hold the yarn with your left hand and insert into very right chain space on row 1. Pay attention to inserting from behind the flower. Then, yarn over and pull through. Work 3 chains. Next, from right to left. Work 1 slip stitch in the third double crochet stitch. Then, make 1 beginning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. In this chain space, work 1/2 double crochet, 3 double crochets, and 1/2 double crochet. When done, make 1 beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Next, pick up the stitches here and work correspondingly 1/2 double crochet, 1 DC2 in 1, one double crochet, 1 DC2 in 1, and 1/2 double crochet. In the entry position of the last half double crochet, work 1 slip stitch. Then in the entry position of the slip stitch below, which is the third double crochet stitch, work 1 slip stitch. When done, enlarge the loop on the hook and pass the piece through the loop. Tighten the yarn. And this way, the second small petal is completed. After each petal is completed, you need to deal with the yarn like this. Next, crochet the adjacent medium petal. First, insert into the second chain space on the right. Also from the back of the petal. Yarn over and draw through. Then work 4 chains. And work 1 slip stitch in the left stitch. Then make 1 beginning chain. And turn the piece counterclockwise. In this chain space, work 1/2 double crochet, 5 double crochets. And 1/2 double crochet. When done, make 1 beginning chain and turn the piece counterclockwise. Then work correspondingly 1/2 double crochet, 1 DC 2 in 1. 1 double crochet. 1 DC 2 in 1. 1 double crochet. 1 DC 2 in 1. And 1 half double crochet. When done, in the entry position of the last half double crochet, work 1 slip stitch. Then in the entry position of the slip stitch below, work 1 slip stitch. Next, deal with the yarn. Like this. The first medium petal is completed. Everyone continue with the same stitches to complete the remaining 2 medium petals. After completing all 3 medium petals. Next, start the first large petal. First, draw the yarn through the chain space. Then work 1 treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert into the left stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are now 4 loops on the hook. Then yarn over. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. A treble crochet is complete. Next, make 1 beginning chain. Then pick up the entire treble crochet and work 1 half double crochet. 5 double crochets. And 1 half double crochet. After completing, make 1 beginning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Then complete these 7 stitches. After completing, make 1 beginning chain. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Work 1 half double crochet next. Then repeat twice the pattern of 2 double crochets, and 1 DC 2 in 1. Then, work 2 double crochets and 1 half double crochet. Next, in the entry position of the last half double crochet, make 1 slip stitch. Then, in the entry position of the previous rows, half double crochet. Make 1 slip stitch. Following this, in the entry position of the treble crochet below, make 1 slip stitch. Deal with the yarn. This way, you have completed one large petal. Then, start the second one. Draw the yarn through. Then work one treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert into the left stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through, then yarn over. And pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Treble crochet is complete. Then, finish all the remaining stitches. Deal with the yarn when done. This way, the second large petal is also completed. Everyone continue to finish the remaining large petals. For the treble crochet of the last large petal, pick up the 3rd braid of the beginning chain to crochet. Which is the 4th braid here. These 2 strands. After completing the last large petal, leave about 50 centimeters of tail before cutting the yarn. Next, sew the rose piece together. Insert the reserved tail into the needle. Position the front of the last row of each petal facing you. Adjust the shape of the petals. Then, turn the piece over. The foundation chain face down. Start rolling to the right from the small petals. Align the braids of foundation chain roughly. Note that after rolling, the front of the last row of each petal should be facing outward. Then, secure the bottom of the piece. Pass the tail from the bottom of the rolled rose to the other side. Then insert from the side. And pass through to the other side. Follow these steps to secure a few times. After the rose is completed, sew it on according to the finished product diagram. Note that for the flower, only sew the bottom. Next, sew on the zipper. Take out the pillow cover and the zipper. Place the side with teeth facing inward. The opening to the left. Then cut at 80 cm tail. Draw out one strand. Thread it into the needle. And start sewing. First, secure the tail on the back. When you sew, make it a bit denser. After sewing one side, sew the other side as well. As you sew, test by pulling it slightly to prevent sewing crooked. After sewing this side, you can secure both ends slightly. While sewing, keep testing by pulling it. That concludes the zipper. Up to this point, we have finished this product. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience. Enjoy the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.